Following his recent arrest by federal agents in connection to the August 2022 shooting and attempted murder of Quando Rondo,
Durk has been locked up in Broward County Jail. He's there right now.
Lil Durk has been taken into custody. In a shocking turn of events, it appears the rapper would be waving the streets goodbye forever, as he is facing a life sentence for the charges labeled against him. Are you also wondering what happens to the OTF boss? Let's get right into it. Gone for life. Following the recent arrest of the OTF boss, Lil Durk, on charges related to a murder-for-hire plot, it appears the rapper who once traveled by private jet is now confined to the four corner walls of the prison. Court report says, if convicted, Durk is facing a statutory maximum sentence of life in federal prison. According to jail records, 32-year-old rapper Lil Durk, whose real name is Dirk Banks, was booked into the Broward County Jail pending charges of murder for hire. This occurred after the U.S. District Attorney in Los Angeles filed an indictment against the rapper and 5 other members of Only the Family, OTF. The indictment charged them with alleged conspiracy to murder for hire, resulting in death, and the use of a machine gun, also resulting in death. The charges claim these men arranged to travel across state lines to carry out the alleged attack against Quando Rondo's circle in 2022.
There are now 5 people in custody who weren't in custody before. 5 people who were alleged to have committed a murder in broad daylight in the middle of the afternoon in the city of Chicago.
Here's the gist. Federal agents connected 5 OTF members to the August 2022 shooting in Los Angeles that killed Quando Rondo's cousin. Records show that Quando Rondo was the target of the operation, as it was in retaliation for King Von's death. As it turned out, it appears the feds have been looking for a substantial link connecting the big fish, Lil Durk, to the murder-for-hire charge labeled on his affiliates. Somehow, the feds knew the crime was a continuation of the tragic events that unfolded in 2020 at the premises of Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta, which led to the death of Lil Durk's bestie, King Von. Now, I think the feds need no informant to tell them that if it concerns King Von's death, Lil Durk definitely called the shots. I think it was only a matter of time before the feds connected Lil Durk to the August 2022 shooting, especially when the feds indicted and arrested those 5 OTF members for the hit. I knew the paperwork and evidence to take down Lil Durk was piling up. No wonder Lil Durk was hit with the most devastating events of his career as soon as the feds got what they wanted.
Durk has been locked up in Broward County Jail. He's there right now. This is this. Yes, Broward. He's in Florida. I got the whole thing on. Look on my stream, I got it. Oh my God, bro.
As expected, DJ Academics was among the first people to break the news of Durk's arrest to the industry. After making a video about the situation, he tweeted, "Breaking: Lil Durk has been arrested by U.S. Marshals and held in Broward County Correctional Facility until he's extradited to California for his federal charge. His charge is murder for hire for the death of Quando Rondo's cousin, Lul Pay-B." When Cat Williams said 2024 was the year of truth, he really was not capping. In a not-so-shocking turn of events, OTF is on the road to RICO. A new filing implicates OTF as a criminal organization. According to the indictment, Co-Conspirator 1 would place a bounty on individuals that Co-Conspirator 1 and other OTF members wanted to kill, including TB. Quando Rondo is referred to as TB. It proceeds to allege that, as part of the bounty, co-conspirators known and unknown, including defendant Wilson, would pay anyone who took part in the killing of TB and or reward individuals with lucrative music opportunities with OTF. Oh no, dude, Lil Durk is so cooked. I think Lil Durk is referenced in the indictment as Co-Conspirator 3. Check this out. Using a credit card associated with OTF, Co-Conspirator 3 would purchase airline tickets for the co-conspirators to fly to California and murder TB. Prosecutors say the same credit card was used to book hotel accommodations for the assailants, and the card was allegedly issued under a bank account that listed Durk's one-time manager as an owner. It was also reported that another credit card was issued under the same account to Lil Durk's father. But then, how did the plan go? Well, according to the reports, it went south. The indictment confirms that defendant Jones and Lindsay and co-conspirator 2 would fire multiple shots at TB, killing SR, who was a passenger in TB's vehicle. If you've been following this gist, then you need no interpreter to tell you that SR is Lul Pab. Now, if you remember, after the attack on Quando Rondo's camp killing Lul Pab, word on the street was someone snitched on Rondo's location. Aha, the street is never wrong, because according to the indictment, Overact number 2, on August 18th, 2022, one or more conspirators, including co-conspirator 4, learned that TB was visiting California and staying at a hotel in Los Angeles. So the big question now is, who snitched? But before you go beating yourself over that puzzle, let's look at how the indictment described the tragic events of the day. According to the feds, the killer squad, using 2 cars, including one without a registered license plate, worked in tandem to track, stalk, and attempt to murder TB at a gas station located in Los Angeles. During the attack, the conspirators allegedly fired at least 18 rounds at TB's vehicle, several of which hit and killed Lul Pab. After the deed was done, prosecutors reported that the killer squad later assembled at a restaurant where they scrambled payment for the attack and then made one last mistake. At dawn, they allegedly used the same OTF-linked credit card to obtain flight tickets to Chicago, but that was not all. In an unexpected turn of events, Lil Durk's murder-for-hire trial was postponed to October 2025 from its original date of January 7, 2025, after both the prosecution and defense agreed the case was so unusual and so complex and required extra time. According to news reports, discovery for the case includes more than 230 gigabytes of digital evidence and over 20K pages of reports about murder and other violent acts, photographs, witness statements, and medical documents. But this was not the main reason the trial was pushed back. It was something bigger. The postponement was called after an FBI agent in Chicago filed a newly unsealed affidavit last year connecting Lil Durk to another murder-for-hire plot. Although Lil Durk is not yet charged for that, the affidavit cited text messages and social media exchanges between two individuals discussing payment from Durk. The affidavit revealed the payment in question was for the 2022 murder of Stefan Mack, a 24-year-old gangster disciple gang leader. Word on the street says the hit was retaliation for the murder of Lil Durk's brother, D-Thang. In June 2021, Lil Durk's brother, D-Thang, was shot and killed allegedly by a gangster disciple member. It seems he always slid for his brothers. The FBI agent cited the hit by alleging in the affidavit that Durk was, and still is, offering money for people to kill those responsible for his brother's murder, including his longtime ops, Gangster Disciples members. Lil Durk's legal team's effort to get him out of jail on pre-trial release has been unsuccessful. This is largely because prosecutors used the FBI agent's unsealed affidavit as evidence that Durk is not fit for pre-trial release. In a filing, prosecutors claim the unsealed affidavit underscores why the defendant cannot be released pending his trial. Let's not forget that Lil Durk is in this mess right now because he was triggered by the Slide for Vaughn campaign by fans, urging him to get back at the folks who killed his bestie.
Here it is. It says, the charges mark the latest fallout from the high-profile killing of King Von. They connecting dots.
What this means is that prosecutors have reasons to believe the case has deeper roots in a long-standing conflict. The altercation between Quando Rondo's crew and King Von in 2020 ended with Von's tragic death in Atlanta. When I was researching this case, I came across a comment from a YouTube user that is significant for its subtle observation. It's truly unfortunate that all this mess is happening because of an ego-filled fistfight that happened in 2020, and it's even pathetic to see that what is left of that unfortunate occurrence is nothing but a bowl of consequences that Durk might live with for the rest of his life. But you cannot blame Durk. To fully understand why Durk had to slide for Von, let me tell you about the connection Durk shared with his friend, King Von. The evil twin, Von and Durk. Lil Durk, legally known as Durk Derrick Banks, was born on the 19th of October 1992 and grew up in the Englewood neighborhood on the south side of Chicago. The area was notorious for its high crime rates and gang activity, shaping much of Durk's early experiences. He faced numerous challenges growing up, including the incarceration of his father when he was just 7 months old. It was hardships like this that fueled his rise from the slums of Chicago to the top of the industry chain. His passion for music also gave him an escape from the harsh realities of his environment. On the other hand, King Von, born Davon Daquan Bennett on the 19th of August 1994, hails from the notorious O Block area of Chicago. O Block, named after a fallen member of the local gang, is one of the most dangerous hoods in the city. Just like Lil Durk, Von's upbringing was equally marked by violence and adversity. He lost several close friends to street violence and had multiple encounters with the law from a young age. Despite these challenges, Von's charisma and storytelling distinguished him from his peers, giving him the spotlight of a local rapper. Durk, already an established figure in the Chicago rap scene, saw potential in the young and hungry Von Durk, took Von under his wing, offering guidance and support as Von navigated the complexities of the music industry. Their friendship, although rooted in music, was more about survival and loyalty. Both artists understood the importance of having someone they could trust in an environment where trust is scarce. This mutual understanding and respect laid the foundation for a friendship that would go on to impact their lives and careers in diverse ways. Take a look at what Lil Durk said about his friend Von at the Breakfast Club.
He got a whole story behind him, you know what I'm saying? He from O Block.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That should speak for itself. But know what I'm saying, he just real. Know what I'm saying? His music, he just a real nigga, just I fuck with him. Know what I'm saying? It's my brother, twin.
As their friendship deepened, Lil Durk signed King Von to his label, Only the Family, OTF, marking a significant milestone as the beginning of their professional collaboration. Shortly after, King Von's debut mixtape, Grandson Vola 1, released in 2019, featured 2 tracks with Durk, Crazy Story 2.0 Inches and Twin Nems. The mixtape was a commercial success, and Von's storytelling prowess quickly garnered a dedicated dedicated fan base and also cemented the connection between the twins. It is important to note that Von was a dangerous figure on the street before he started making music. He only started rapping after winning a murder case in 2017. No wonder when he started making music, he didn't leave the street behind. He dissed every rapper who dared to stand in his way. King Von, who had been a member of the Black Disciples gang, constantly dissed members of STL, his biggest rival gang, who hail from the 23rd, just a block away from the O Block, the Black Disciples domain. As a teenager, Von found himself drawn into the violent world of gang life. He became a member of the Black Disciples, a gang with deep roots in Chicago's criminal underworld. The allure of power, respect, and protection offered by the gang was too strong to resist. Von quickly rose through the ranks, earning a reputation for fearlessness and ruthlessness. It wasn't long before his name became synonymous with violence and retribution. One of the earliest incidents that cemented Von's reputation was the killing of King Doc. Doc, a member of a rival gang, was gunned down in a brutal attack that shocked the community. On April 28, 2012, a group of 4 men shot him as he walked into a convenience store. After being shot, Doc stumbled into a patch of tall weeds, where he lay undiscovered for hours before his 16-year-old cousin, Modell McCambry, eventually found him dead. The killing of King Doc was just the beginning. King Von became an active Twitter user starting in June 2012. He frequently tweeted about his street activities, seemingly unconcerned about incriminating himself. Von openly claimed to be drilling in the name of O.D. Perry and compared himself and his best friend fellow O'Block, shooter T-Roy to Phineas and Ferb. He warned rivals not to disrespect them, boasting about shooting people as if it were nothing. He tweeted about drilling since he was young and even expressed a desire to kill cops. On August 7th, 2012, Von tweeted that homicide is in the air and that it smells like a graveyard. In the early hours of the following morning, August 8th, 2012, a group from O-Block, rumored to include King Von and T-Roy, was out looking for enemies. Dirty Rel, real name Tyrell Joshua, an older member affiliated with St. Lawrence, Eberhart, and Jarrow City, was back in town and ended up being shot dead. He was found on a sidewalk on the first block of East 56th Street in Washington Park just before 3:30 a.m. These early incidents set the stage for what would become a pattern of violence and retribution. Von's reputation as a serial killer began to take shape, with each killing adding to the legend. As King Von's reputation in the streets of Chicago grew darker, his alleged involvement in a series of brutal killings continued to fuel the legend of a man feared by many. The next chapter in this grim tale involves the tragic deaths of Modell P5 and Lil James, each incident adding another layer to Von's notoriety and solidifying his reputation as a serial killer. However, while King Von was pacing to the ranks of the rapper with the most body counts, Death himself was pacing to the finish line on him, but he was too hot-tempered to realize. The initial points of tension between King Von and Quando Rondo can be traced back to their affiliations. King Von's close association with Lil Durk and Quando Rondo's ties to NBA Youngboy created an underlying rivalry. The tension between Lil Durk and NBA Youngboy's camps was well known in the industry and seemed to spill over to their respective artists. The events of November 6, 2020 began like any other for King Von and his crew. They were at the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta, a popular spot for nightlife. Quando Rondo and his entourage were also present at the venue. The atmosphere was charged and tensions were high, though no one could have predicted the tragic events that were about to unfold. As the night progressed, an argument broke out between the two groups. Surveillance footage captured the moment when King Von approached Quando Rondo outside the nightclub. Without warning, Von threw the first punch, igniting a violent brawl between the two entourages. The situation quickly spiraled out of control as fists flew and chaos erupted. During the fight, Timothy Lil Tim Leaks, a close associate of Quando Rondo, allegedly pulled out a gun. Shots rang out and King Von was struck multiple times. The scene was chaotic, with people scattering in all directions as gunfire echoed through the night. Von's crew attempted to rush him to safety, but the damage had already been done. King Von was critically injured and rushed to a nearby hospital. Despite the efforts of medical personnel, he succumbed to his injuries later that night. Timothy Leaks was arrested at the scene and charged with the murder of King Von. He was later released on a $100,000 bond, a decision that sparked outrage among Von's supporters. Quando Rondo, who was present during the altercation, vehemently denied any involvement in the shooting. In subsequent interviews, he claimed that he did not know King Von personally and had never had any issues with him. Quando maintained that he and his crew were merely defending themselves during the altercation.
One thing about it, he gonna protect me with anything, which anybody should do.
Rumors circulated that Quando Rondo had tried to take King Von's chain after the shooting, allegations that Quando strongly denied. He accused people of spreading false information and clout chasing, insisting that no one would be thinking about taking a chain in the middle of a shootout.
Even sure, ma'am, but a chain, ma'am, ma'am, when it comes to jewelry, ma'am, only people with bad intentions who clout chasing and stuff looking to try to take a nigga chain. Ma'am, a $50,000, $60,000 chain, ma'am, like a could go buy that. That's 50, 60,000. Like, that's not nothing.
On the other side, Quando Rondo and his camp faced intense scrutiny and backlash. Many fans and fellow artists held Quando responsible for the events that led to King Von's death. Despite the criticism, Quando remained defiant. In the weeks following the shooting, Quando Rondo faced significant backlash. Concerts were canceled, and he received numerous threats. Despite this, he continued to release music and maintain his innocence. In a controversial move, Quando gifted Timothy Lil Tim Leaks an expensive watch, which many saw as a sign of loyalty and support. This act further fueled the animosity between the two camps. "Me and my twin," wrote Quando Rondo on Instagram stories, accompanying the caption with a photo of two newly purchased watches, one with black details and the other with blue. He tagged Lil Tim's Instagram account, indicating that the second luxury watch was a gift for the man accused of shooting King Von. Although at the time, some people commended Lil Durk for not seeking to avenge King Von's death and continuing the chain of violence in the rap culture, it was the "slide for Von" comments that got him. Unfortunately, when Durk called the hit, his empire came down crashing. Fall of an empire. It is true that when the mighty fall, they fall along with everything they worked for. It appears that last year ended in the direct opposite way it started for rapper Lil Durk. He went from being awarded the key to village of Broadview to being locked up behind bars in the same year. An epic reversal of fortune, but who is to blame? It is simple. You can't be two things at the same time. You are either a rapper or a gangster. If you are both, then soon, just like Lil Durk, you will be a rapper behind bars while your empire strays outside without direction. The feds are always watching. If you stick your hands in something dirty, then it's just a matter of time until you get caught. As noted by the assistant director in charge of the FBI Los Angeles field office, Aiko Davis, while you're going about your life thinking you got away with it, the FBI is piecing together the facts that will serve as your undoing. This is particularly true of Lil Durk's plot twist, who started the year among mayors but ended behind bars. Let me give you a little recap of how 2024 started for Lil Durk before his arrest. The All My Life rapper gets honored near his hometown for his work with his Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. The Grammy Award-winning rapper was awarded multiple keys to the city, including Village of Broadview and Village of Bellwood. This prestigious honor is added to the long list of accolades that the self-proclaimed voice of the trenches has received in the last few years. In a shocking turn of events, the key to the city that Lil Durk received just a week ago was revoked following his arrest. On Friday, Broadview Mayor Katrina Thompson took back the honorary key that officials of the Chicago Village presented to Durk on October 18th after news broke that U.S. Marshals had arrested the rapper in Florida for an alleged murder conspiracy. In addition to rescinding the key, Broadview officials terminated their partnership with Durk's nonprofit organization, the Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. The mayor highlighted that although the American justice system presumes everyone is innocent until proven guilty, in the village of Broadview, the court of public opinion of residents has even higher moral and ethical standards of behavior. This is just a glimpse of the consequences of gang life. Your legacy will be tarnished, affiliates will disown you, and more likely you end up behind bars if you are lucky. However, if you are unlucky, just like King Von, the consequences of gang life will get you boxed 6 feet underground. In line with Durk's arrest, fans wondered if Lil Durk's empire would still be standing at the end of the day. Who would have thought that someone from OTF would give up the boss? Right now, there are some reports, like one from the Express Tribune, that Durk was actually allegedly ratted on by an OTF member who dedicated quite some years of his life secretly connecting his boss Lil Durk with the attempted murder of Quando Rondo, which led to the murder of Lil Pap. Many things have gone down on the street, but I assure you that this recent development met the industry in total shock. The informant, identified as OTF member Jam, allegedly wore a hidden wire for several years to gather evidence for authorities. The backstory is that OTF Jam, who was released from prison in 2022 after serving 12 years for attempted murder, reportedly provided information directly linking the biggest fish, Lil Durk, to the murder-for-hire scheme against Rondo, born Tiquian Terrell Bowman. Say Cheese was one of the first people to report on social media the in-house betrayal of gangster rapper Lil Durk. He tweeted, "Lil Durk's snitch was an OTF member, and he was exposed for wearing a wire. OTF Jam allegedly wore a wire for multiple years. He previously served a 12-year sentence." As soon as the news hit the internet, a series of controversies was sparked, with most people wondering how OTF Jam was able to hide the wire for several years without being noticed. Humorously, someone responded, "He was hiding the wire in that big ass forehead." Another user tried to offer offer some clarity by saying they don't use wires nowadays. Instead, cops give you a small voice recorder that's real sensitive and you just have to put it in your pocket. However, this user's opinions seem to be up to date with technological advancement. It says, a wire, my opinion, not a fact. But every device around you is considered a wire. You don't necessarily have to wear a movie wire. Your phone is the wire, I believe. Well, to be honest, using wire to rat sounds like some old school rat thing. I believe technology has moved forward, and so have rats. What was more shocking was the fact that when OTF Jam was in jail, word on the street was that Lil Durk held the ground for him, provided for his family, and paid for his lawyers. During an interview with DJ Vlad about Lil Durk's empire falling flat, Wack 100 spoke about Jam snitching.
Did 12 years.
12
got
years?
out, interviewed, said he kept it real, brought him cars, gave him 50,000.
Right.
This. Made mention that ain't no smut on his name. He ain't never been a rat. Caught a gun case, but eventually he flipped.
DJ Vlad added that Jam served a 12-year prison sentence for attempted murder, supposedly from 2010. He was released in 2022, coinciding with the time of Lil Pab's murder. Since then, Jam has allegedly been wearing a recording device to collect information on Lil Durk and OTF, which has ultimately led to the recent arrests. Amidst Lil Durk's arrest and the discovery of a rat in a household meant for only the family, a 2023 interview with OTF Jam has resurfaced. In the interview with DJ Jerry, Jam opened up about his long-standing relationship with Durk and the support he received while incarcerated. OTF Jam recounted how Lil Durk's music helped him to stay motivated and how the rapper supported him with money and the like while in jail. He said, I remember Durk was making rap songs for our parties. He added, that was bro, back before the fame and the money. He made a way for me to be straight.
I'm saying, my whole time in jail, that stayed, bro. Like, before the money, you know what I'm saying? That was bro. I remember when the money wasn't there.
Although Lil Durk has rapped about his ability to know when someone is telling on him, he did not see this one coming. Someone said, to be betrayed by a childhood friend after you looked out for him, and then wearing the wire around Durk is insane. It'd be the closest ones to you, and I agree. It can only be called betrayal when it comes from someone you call a friend. After all, no one expects any form of loyalty from an enemy. If you enjoyed this video, then click the card showing on your screen for more videos like this.